to the outside world. Let's say a lot of people get their sense of identity from a specific role, from a specific job title, from how much money they're earning, from how many people they're above in a hierarchical level. But that's where the flip is, that it's a wrong metric, because the more dependent we become on the outside world for finding fulfillment, or let's say inner satisfaction, the more fearful and greedy we would be. All these things would become entangling. And I think a very beautiful analogy comes. So I'll refer to the movie Titanic. In that, there's a scene that, guys, namaskaram. So I thought maybe reactions are a good way to get some insights on certain situations. So I got some reels. I just wanted to share one of them. Probably something that can help all of us. So let me share my screen. You might be able to see my screen. Okay. So this is a reel from J.Krishnamurti. He's a very powerful, we can say, philosopher of sorts. So just wanted to get certain insights.
Please, we are nothing. After all, that's real meditation. That's what shunya means in Sanskrit. The, the immensity of it. If man really says, I must have peace in the world, therefore I must live peacefully, then there is peace in the world. But he doesn't want to live in peace. He does everything opposite to that. His ambition, his arrogance, his silly, petty fears and all that. So we have reduced the vastness of all this to some petty little reactions. And so we live such petty lives. So to grasp, to understand that in the zero contains all the numbers. Pure fact is, we are nothing.
Interesting. So I think on the outset it might seem that again this is not very practical. What the hell he's talking about and things like that, right? But I think the profundity from which JK is coming is very remarkable. So fundamentally, how I kind of interpret it, as per my limited understanding, is two things are very important. I think JK is kind of warning us to not have the wrong ambitions, because a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety kind of comes when there's something within that attaches itself a lot to the outside world. Let's say a lot of people get their sense of identity from a specific role, from a specific job title, from how much money they're earning, from how many people they're above in a hierarchical level. But that's where the flip is, that it's a wrong metric, because the more dependent we become on the outside world for finding fulfillment, or let's say inner satisfaction, the more fearful and greedy we would be. So we just need to reverse that. That instead of depending too much on the world, depend, or let's say find that inner spot, have an inner understanding of sorts, and then kind of involve yourself fully in the world. So I think Krishna says this, that the world is a play, the world is Leela. What it essentially means is that for a person who has the right center, for him or her, these entire objects would be just sources of play to get to that end per se. But for an ignorant one, right, for an ignorant fool, all these things would become entangling. And I think a very beautiful analogy comes. So I'll refer to the movie Titanic. In that, there's a scene that initially there was just a minor hole when water kind of started filling in Titanic, right? So the more the water started filling, the deeper it went down. And the deeper it went down, the easier it became for the ocean to add more weight to the ship and sink it more down and down. So from that perspective, if the center of action within oneself is not focused, or let's say established on the right, let's say center, right, or the right battle for that matter, that okay, this is the right type of battle which I want to pursue, then all these things would drain your energy, and towards the end, a lot of regret would come. Now, GK says that zero, right? All numbers are contained in zero. Essentially, what he means to say is that once we come in that spot where there's a sense of, you can say, nothingness within, or how I interpret it is that you're so involved in life that you lose track of who you are as a person. So there are like two layers to it. One is your ego, the conscious person, which says, okay, I am this, I'm that, and on a secondary, more subtle level, is the one who is driving that ego. So just realizing the immensity of feeling that state, we could also relate it to being in a game. So let's say if you're too much attached or very focused in playing a game, you lose all sense of self. So that's the state that we are kind of being encouraged to look into. And further, he says that when we lose the essence of this life in through our arrogance, through silly petty issues, that arrogance essentially comes from, again, the way with which I started this video, when we give too much importance to the sense of identities that we hold in our world, because essentially all of us have a very, you can say, limited time on this planet, roughly 80 to 90 years. And if you're just chasing things, probably we could always cajole ourselves by saying that there's a next life and things like that. But we don't know, right, whether we'll come in the next life or not. This can also be taken as a story just to give some solace, some peace to the people who have wasted their life. So, ruthless honesty, that's one. The second is, whenever we are wanting to do something, involve something, start any project, just be very, very clear as to why we are doing it. Because you see a lot of people, be it in business, be it anywhere, start so many projects only to end it within a month, a week, not sticking with it. And the reason for that is because there's no practical material gain from that pursuit. If you love the thing that you're doing so much, I know there are like practical realities from a money perspective, but I think all of us are relatively in that state where at least the basic necessities can be taken care of. So now the question comes more from a deeper satisfaction level, that what is it that really would imbibe joy within the deepest layers of your life. So yeah, those were my 2 cents on this reel. Probably the level of intelligence or the level of intellect I have is far, far uh, minuscule as compared to what JK is kind of trying to convey here. But anyhow, those are just 2 cents. Let me know what you feel about it, and until then, this is Debu Ki Dastak from Debu Ki Dastak. Bye.